Hello and welcome to Building the Milton Valley Railroad. It's been a while since we last had a stream of this, and that's because, well, for some of them it just didn't work because of a database rebuild. For others it didn't work because I was busy doing other things, but here we are now and hopefully this will work. So let's switch over. There we are. Hello Kangafanga, welcome. Last time we had some internet issues at the end, but this is what I built. Put on these streets, these houses, and put in this road going over there, and just finished up a few things around the place. Not that it is very finished, but it's getting there. So what we'll do today is basically continue with the town. So I'll continue to place houses along here, although probably what I'll do first is add in maybe 1 or 2 more roads going around here in this little area, so that I can better see what I actually need to build back there. Because if I put houses here and then put trees around there, then maybe you won't even see back there, and then I don't need to put in the time to put a lot of stuff back there. So let's do that first. Hello Mickey School, welcome. It is going well. Thank you very much for asking. Okay, and at the moment I'm not going to put in proper intersection objects. Again, because I don't actually think that they are going to be visible. At least not many. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think that's a bit too much space like that. Maybe if I did something like that, maybe, perhaps, who knows? We'll see. Because these houses are always a bit smaller than I anticipate. Like if I look at things from all the way up here, I always think that they're going to take up more space than they actually will. Which is why with a lot of the other towns that I've made, the properties are really quite large. Bigger than they perhaps would be in the real world, but who knows, maybe it is actually realistic after all. What shall we do today? What shall we do today? What shall we do today? What shall we do? Yeah, do you know where that's from? I know where that's from. Just did not mean to connect that there. Yes, even that seems a bit large. Perhaps... what if we just had 1 more road going up like that? Let's see what this would look like if I were to apply the terrain height to the spline. Haha. Yes, the series. The animated series. Okay, now for these little islands basically in here, which I don't need because that's where houses are supposed to go. Okay, let's apply the terrain height again. To some of this. Okay. No, not that one. I wanted it to be applied to... Hold on, 1 second. To this spline. There we go. Right, now I'll get the houses, and I'll see what it'll look like with houses going along this side first. And then I'll put some trees behind them to then see how much will be obscured. And I actually managed to grab the first house in the list. But I think these ones I do need to push into the ground a bit so that the steps actually do line up with the ground, because these houses you will be able to see a little bit better than the other ones all the way back there. But that's something I can do later on once I've actually placed the houses along here. That's it. Ah, glad you found it. Okay. Well, that looks good. Okay, these ones, is this one also a corner house? Maybe, yeah. Perhaps this could fit in well over here. Yeah, that's okay. Just move it. Actually, you know what? No, I'll rotate it like that. And then I can increase the height again a little bit. Just sort of like that. Yeah, that is better. Okay, now let's go back to these houses. And I'll just grab random ones and then place those down. Although this is getting a bit close back there. How much space do we have over here? Not that much either. But that's okay. I wanted it to feel a little bit tighter back there, because that way it feels more like the space, the land, has more value. These houses I will actually need to put into the ground a bit. Even though I know in the front it's already buried in the ground a bit. But you won't see the front from the tracks. You'll see the back. And so it's important that the back's not floating. Welcome! Hello! See, that looks good. Now if I'll go back to one of the other towns that I've made, for example, Clayton Heights over here, which is technically a suburb of the city. Grab one of the trees down here. He'll start a big new live stream by placing city blocks. You can pick up all the roads, lines, carry tracks above his head. Yeah, the big adventure, I know. Okay, and grab some of these trees. Are these in the same group? The answer is yes. Good. More trees. Yes, I'm getting the trees. Danger of depth. Hello. Okay, so let's place a few of these down over here. See what that looks like. That looks not very good because they're behind. They need to be between the houses, I think. A bit more, so you can actually see the trees a bit better. Now replace some of them with larger trees, perhaps. Yeah, that's a legitimate user. Yes, he's written in chat before. Maybe, is there one size-wise that's between those two? I don't think so. Well, there's this one, but that one's off-center. Like if I just place a whole bunch of these, you can see that the pivot isn't where the tree is. But maybe if I replaced some of these with some of those trees, that would look a bit better. Yeah, because some of these trees back here you can't really see at all. And then I'll grab one of the coniferous trees and put a few of those down as well. Yeah, like that. That adds a nice little bit more fullness. It's a bit of an awkward angle looking up at this from a bit below. Because normally, if you look at it from a bit above, then you can't really see the gaps that well because you can just see the ground underneath. But if you look up at it a little bit more, then you can see all the way behind it, and it feels a lot less full. Yes, I saw it. I replied to it. I assume. Oh, you probably meant Kango. Okay, let's get the hedge spline as well. For the record, the map is called GM Resort Island Night. It has been recorded. Or something by the lines of that. That was strange. Do you see that? I was on the splines tab, but it went back over to the objects tab for a moment. Come on. Or rather, don't come on, because I don't actually need you to load more of that, because I've already got the spline. Haha. You need PH Resort Madness content packs for it to work. What does PH stand for? What was it, sorry? The water. The normal map for the water was a missing texture, and so it was just a grid. Oh, prop hunt. I see. I was thinking of it as f, like PH, f, like a word that begins with a f sound. Okay. So what will this look like when I finish putting these down? And you've got to imagine this with shadows, of course. Geomaps are usually sandbox. Okay. Platinum Arts maps are also usually sandbox. I made quite a few of those back in the day. RP are intended for roleplay maps, mostly large and with many enterable buildings as well as roads. Same. There it is. Link to the Steam page. As we 10 plus years ago. Around there, I would say. Okay, so now from back here, where the tracks are. Yeah, I really like that. You can see the taller buildings behind these. If you imagine another row there, then yeah, that's good. That's going to work well. However, I will finish adding them along here first. This map was originally for making a... How do I say this? I think I get what you mean, and so there is no need to say this. Okay. I do find the apparent... Yeah, I'd rather not. Good. Good. I do find that the lack of space here is quite an interesting change of pace, because the other towns that I've made were all really quite spacious in most of the places for their buildings. These ones can move back a little bit like that. Okay. Also, the Haddon-Cott tramway is going well. I've recorded most of it already, but I really want to see if I can get the map finished in this 4th episode, because originally I was planning to make about 4 episodes. It has taken quite a bit longer than I expected, because I ended up making the map a lot more open than I had originally intended to. But I'm hoping to finish the map in this video. Well, not this stream video, but the last episode of it, so quite a lot of stuff going on. Both with RP, yes. Never did any Gmod RP myself, despite exploring with RP maps in single player. Nice, good to hear. Will the fourth part be around 40 minutes? I don't think so. I think it'll be around 20 minutes as well. Because a lot of the work that has to be done is just filler, basically. Filling space with towns, houses, filling space with fields, filling in spaces between areas that I've already made, stuff like that. So, hello, little dog. Oh, sorry, kangaroo. Yes, I wasn't aware that kangaroos barked. Okay, these houses I have to look at from the back. What about sessions? Sessions I've not made any yet, and I'm only going to make some quite simple sessions. I mean, the route itself is really quite small, so I don't think you could make many complicated sessions on it, unless you did lots of shunting stuff, but yeah, I'm only going to make a couple basic sessions. So I'm going to make a session where you take coal from the transfer yard to the steel mill, and then I'm going to make a session where you take empties from... where you take a little bit of coal from the... Probably a session where, yeah, we'll take a little bit of coal from the transfer yard, pick up empties at the steel mill, and take them up to the iron mine or the limestone quarry, and then you can drop off the coal there as well, bring it back down, or something like that. And then also like a passenger service or something like that. Also one where you probably drop off some iron or limestone and then pick up some empty coal and some filled, what are they called, bolster wagons or something like that, that have the steel coils on them. So nothing major, just basic runs up and down the line essentially. And since most of it is single track anyway, I won't have to do much fancy stuff with AI as well, which should save a lot on time making it. Will that also be recorded, put on in a video, you making sessions? I wasn't planning on doing it because... Why does it keep switching over to another object? Why? It's like it keeps switching over to the... It's like it's having performance issues, or memory issues perhaps. Because it's switching... It's like it's reloading a default state by switching over to the splines tab and then back over to the objects tab. It's not pre-caching stuff, you'd see it at the top. Yeah, like that. That's quite nice. Like a bonus part 5? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it would be that interesting because most of the videos is just time-lapse of me building stuff and commentating on what I'm building, and then you've got the cinematics at the end. That works for building the route because you can see it growing in a rapid fashion, but with sessions, it would just be me quickly placing trains, then spending a whole bunch of time, well, placing trains, placing a few track marks, then spending a whole bunch of time just clicking on session rules, changing values, adding more session rules, changing values, and then a bunch of testing it. And I don't really think that would be that interesting to watch as in a time-lapse format because, well, you won't know what's going on. And you won't see much of a change in anything, really. Okay. know, I want just normal houses there, not the corner ones. Time-lapse sounds fun. Well, I agree. The word time-lapse does sound fun. But for making a session, I don't think it would work that well. Because a time-lapse is only fun if you can see change in something happening. Like, because you see a rapid change in something. Like, for example, me doing terraforming or placing down buildings in a town. We can see the town forming. Or things like that. But even with that, I'm cutting out most of the just making fields, because even though it's time lapse, it's not really that interesting. You just see, okay, there's another field that's appeared, now there's another field, now another field, and so on. And with sessions, you wouldn't even have that. It would just, most of it would be just me sitting in this screen with the mouse moving all over the place, going over into different session rules, like, hold on. Yeah, like that, clicking around, and clicking around, closing it, then going into this session rule, and then scrolling down a bit, and then doing stuff in here, enabling that, then going back over here, like that, and then just, I don't think that would work. I hope my recreation helped. Well, is it really a recreation if the actual thing hasn't been created? Recreation of my thought, perhaps. Comms ringing. Ah, yes. Dwyer, is use pathos. Go ahead. Yes, of course the comms is answered. Preemptive recreation. Yeah, very true. I don't know why, but I suddenly had to think of the Pet Shop Boys songs. I don't know why. It's almost like I heard the melody in my mind. It just popped into my mind for a second there. Don't know why. Or maybe I do know why, and I'm not telling you why. Constitution class ambience. Oh, that's nice. As in an exclamation of excitement, or as in something's just gone horribly wrong? Come on, load in. Alright, Liza, keep your air on now. Tell us what's wrong, and we'll try to be off assistance to you. We'll be off assistance. Yeah, we'll try to be off assistance to you. Currently looking at this top G. Top G? What do you mean? Yeah, this is loading really slowly, the assets. Hold on, I'll quickly check in the activity monitor to see if anything's clogging up memory. I spent 100 million on yacht and cannot even go to space. And doesn't even have guns. Oh, you mean just a normal yacht then, in that case. Memory. Interesting. Windows server, which is a system thing, is currently using over 3 gigabytes of memory. Trainz is only using 2.56 gigabytes of memory. What is happening with that? Is that OBS mostly? I don't know. Something really I can do with that. Yeah, that's good to know, but it doesn't really help me in this case. I'm afraid if you wish to purchase starship grade wire torpedoes, you're gonna have to contact Starfleet Command. Well, yes, or one of the host of other people who would be willing to part with such things for a modest fee. Interesting, that square there isn't that little green that they normally have when they're 5 meter, but it appears to actually be 5 meter. If you'd like an empty casing for a funeral, we'd be happy to lend you one. I see. Did I say something about torpedoes? No, I did not. I did not say that. It is the other me at it again. No, definitely not. Come on, load in. If this continues to not load in, then I may have to restart Trainz, or my computer for that matter, because I can't place stuff down if the objects aren't appearing. Also, I'm not sure if I should save now if they've not actually appeared fully. Devaya, yeah. Oh, Eliza! Oh, the other me. I did not say that. Oh. That's... I didn't even realize. Okay, yeah, I'll quickly relaunch Trainz because this is not working. Actually, let me open up the activity monitor and then I'll see if the memory, if the window server, if that has to do with Trainz or not. So at the moment it's still at 3.11 GB. If I quit Trainz, nope, it has changed absolutely nothing about that. Actually, no, it's gone down by 10 megabytes. Okay, well, let me restart Trainz. Maybe that'll help. What's going on? I did not notice lag. It wasn't lag. It was just... It was like Trainz was running out of memory because it wasn't loading in the objects anymore. Like, the buildings I placed down, along with some parts of the road, just wouldn't load in. They just wouldn't appear. After I went over to the other side. So it is loading in. It hasn't tried to do a database rebuild or anything like that. Although I do see pre-caching content at the top, but that usually does appear briefly when loading in anyway. As I said, I'm laughing my theory off at top G's 100 million yard. For that price you can buy a battlecruiser. Well, not really, but I exemplify it. I see. Well, let us know if you require the Pathos assistance. For now, we'll remain in orbit. Oh, do you need some of that gold paint? We've still got some of that left over. Okay, let's see if stuff will actually load now. I will admit this does not look promising, but it might just load. I'm against it, but in the end it's the captain's choice, although saying that, I highly doubt it would be a severe understatement. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Things just not loading in properly. The objects are there. It's like just doesn't have enough memory to load them in. Yeah, I think the only thing I can do at this point is restart my computer to clear that. No. I'll restart my computer and I'll be back once once I'm back. It should not take too long because restarting my Mac has actually been going quite quick recently. So it should only be a few minutes. So see you soon. Bye-bye. Not the end. I'll restart the stream once it's back, if it comes back, but it should come back. So see you in a bit. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back. Sorry for the delay. I had to restart my computer because something wasn't giving up the memory, which was preventing Trainz from working right. But now that I've restarted, which took a while, now that it's done an index, which took a while, now that it's loaded into the root, which also took a while, we are back. We've still got about 50 minutes left. So now if I zoom in, you'll be able to see it quickly load up all the assets. There we are. Okay, so if you're watching this archived on Twitch, then please watch it archived on YouTube. And if you're watching this archived on YouTube, then hello, thank you for watching this archived on YouTube. You've already got the two parts stitched together by me. Hello, yes, welcome. And didn't I have I thought I had a building. I did have a building back here. Yeah, I did have one back here, I think. Actually, what's my render distance set at? That should be quite low. It is, good. Don't think there's enough space for another house there, but this one would fit quite nicely in here, I think. Funny, before I restarted, it wasn't this laggy. It was just the assets weren't loading. But that's okay. Is that enough? I think that's good. It still allows a little bit more of a view back there. Actually, maybe not having that tree, that would be better. That way it'd be easy to see the houses on that hill back there. Yeah, see how much quicker it went into the saving screen that time, as opposed to before I restarted. Actually, let me quickly just double check 1 second. Nope, it's definitely done with the indexing. Dun, 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 dun. If you know where that's from, congratulations. I'll give you a hint. It's from the same place that the majority of Star Trek Picard's theme is from. Sorry if you can hear that, there's a helicopter. Not that I can see it, but it's up there somewhere. Star Trek? Well, you've got to be more specific than that. Well, I honestly can't remember. Sorry, it's an episode of a movie. It is Star Trek The Next Generation, The Inner Light. You remember the one, don't you? Frantically looking it up on IMDb. Not me, obviously. You can see that I'm building stuff in Trainz. But I thought there were 4 lights. No, that was 1984. Don't worry, I know that it is from a Star Trek episode as well, but that was a reference to 1984. I think that's from the Chain of Command, Part 2, with the 4 lights. I think it's the Chain of Command. With the Cardassians? With the Cardassian War? Yeah, that is the episode. Where the Enterprise encounters a threat that is basically not a threat, and where the Enterprise encounters alien life that ends up being very not alien, and where the Enterprise encounters a strange thing which ends up being quite quite human, even though it isn't actually human, but human in its nature, but not its actual nature. It's like it's not human, but it is a very human thing. I mean, should watch that on Friday, maybe. I mean, you can watch it whenever you want. Well, gotta go sleep. Well, thanks for stopping by. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks for waiting around as well, if you're not already gone. If you're already gone, then I rescind my thanks. Nah. Remember, tomorrow's live stream will start 2 hours late. Oh yeah, I need to remember that, otherwise I'm going to be there live streaming, sitting in the ETS2 convoy screen, going like, why isn't the convoy up yet? Come on, why isn't it up yet? I guess I could ask in Discord, but I don't want to do that. After all, it should be up right about now, and then so on. ATS? XD. ATS works as well. But the thing is, if I forgot that it's 2 hours later, do you really think that I could remember that it's in ATS and not ETS2? Okay, this is going quite well, I think. I know. Actually, Kango Fango, you have seen Star Trek Picard Season 2, haven't you? Or even, well, Season 1 and or 2. Because if you have, do you remember if there was any reference at all made to the Inner Light? Because that is such a critical part of the character, and I don't think they referenced it at all. I've seen both seasons and I can't remember any of it. Any reference to it, I mean... I've seen both seasons and I can't remember any of it. Any reference to it, I mean. Hold on, now I think I want a coniferous tree, but a larger one. Well, that is probably a bit too large, hold on. Yeah, that's good. That's the sort of size I wanted. And I'll move it a little bit forward. A little bit down as well. Just so that it looks like it's more... well, yeah, like that. Like it's closer to the ground. The look of this neighborhood sort of reminds me of this if the roads were purple. I can already guess what that is. Is it The Simpsons? Because that's the only place I can remember with purple roads. So Springfield from The Simpsons, I should say. Yes, I really like how this is looking. Still not entirely sure what I'll fill this area with. Maybe just a meadow or something like that. Or pasture. Because this up here will be forest, going up to there. Or maybe, yeah, probably that. Or maybe just an empty area with grass. Simpsons Thin Run OST. Namaste from stage 1. Ah. Yes. How far are you behind? I mean, delay-wise. I'm going to type now in chat. And then when you hear me say now, say now. Now. Now one. Okay. Now. Okay. So not that far behind. That's good. I was thinking there might be a bit of a delay because the yes I thought was relating to it being from The Simpsons, but maybe it was relating to something else. Good. I see. It was just because there was quite a bit of delay on that. I thought you might be on quite a bit of a delay. Yeah, I like that better. This way you can actually see a little bit of that house looking up the road. Yeah, of course I have. I told you I've been working on the Haddoncourt tramway. I'm really looking forward to Monday. That's going to be so much fun. I can see some Van Morris J's in there. That series of events seems oddly familiar. Who knows? Our P character might know a yellow one called Marlette. Most people will have the time. Yes, I'm not going to rephrase that. Yeah. Most of the participants will have the time, I think. There might be a participant that will not have the time, but that participant may not really be a participant yet. Oh no, she'll definitely have the time. Just not sure if she'll want to show up. Ah. Yes, couldn't have put it better myself. Ah, right, Mr. W. Yes. I mean, did you hear something? Yeah, I'm hearing a helicopter outside still, or rather again. Ah, look. It's the splines. Did you see that? The spline's not appearing in time. That was probably just wind. Probably. Hold on, let me quickly check the activity monitor again. Memory. Windows server is at 1.33 gigabytes. Interesting. Well, it'll be interesting if Twitch sent you an email each time you were mentioned in chat. Probably not. Probably not. That would not be interesting. That would be annoying. Yeah, look at that. It's not even loading. It's... There we go. Per day, maybe. Even that could get annoying. It would be interesting if there was an option for it, but I don't think that forcing that on your users would be a good idea. Headline: You're getting popular. Text below: You've been mentioned in chats around the world 163 times this week. See all. And you press that button and suddenly you become omniscient. And then it turns out that some employee at Twitch accidentally linked that to the wrong hyperlink. And that's why it happened. Yeah, in fact, the original intended receiver of that hyperlink would have been like the boss of Amazon or something like that. Because Twitch belongs to Amazon, right? Isn't that a thing? Like they've bought it or something like that, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so that was originally meant for the boss of Amazon, but it got in the wrong email. Okay, the further back we get, the less detail I'll have to put in. Will there be a fence too somewhere? Maybe, if you'll actually see it. Yeah, but otherwise, how would you get over it? It's not called over the fence, you know. Do I like that big tree in there? No, I prefer it like this. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of this coniferous tree as well there. Maybe a few of these trees in there as well, like so. Yes, that's better. That's better. They need a raccoon, which needs a red card. Yeah, true. Okay, what does this look like from the tracks now? Okay, you can barely see it back there. And that's good, that's what I wanted. You just see the rooftops there, and if you zoom out a little bit more, you can see that there are actually buildings here. But you don't have to look any closer than that. Just look of sheep for the fence. Or just one sheep that keeps running around behind the camera to then jump over it again. Okay, so now let's see how much of this area we can fill in with houses. For this area, I don't really need to put any fences or any details like that in, because it's just too far away. Fun fact, I actually saw both of those yesterday. You saw a raccoon yesterday? Interesting. I did not. But then again, I'm not living where raccoons tend to live. Oh, you saw both a scarf and a house? Sorry, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Ah, that would explain it. Yeah, I think doing it like this is a bit quicker. If I just place down all of the houses of that type that I want right away, because then I don't have to keep going back through finding other assets. Although these ones over here may want to move into the ground a little bit, or do a tiny bit of terraforming there for them. Have you ever been inside of a barn house, Arno? A barn house? I've been in a Barnstaub before, but a barn house, maybe. If so, then that must have been a long time ago. Yes. You can start to see it coming together now. even though there's obviously still a lot of empty space. It's not the J Valley Railway, it's the J Valley Line, I believe. I don't know. Maybe. Because it is a preserved line, so it would make sense that the railway is called is named after the line if the entirety of the railway is just that line. But previously the line was part of a larger network, the connection to which at least has been severed a long time ago. Maybe. Good. Then you can do that while I place houses. How far do you reckon the J Valley line would be? Wait, what? How far do you think? Do you reckon the J Valley line would be to the Haddon tramway? That sentence doesn't make sense. Like, do you mean how in relation, like how long the line is compared to the Haddon tramway, or what do you mean by that? Those houses seem identical, but they are different houses, aren't they? No, they aren't. They are the same object. I see, that would explain why they're identical. Far away. Oh, how far away? I will quickly transition to Toby there. Yes. I think they'd be quite far. Like the way I'm picturing it, I mean, obviously the J Valley line is by the coast, and I was picturing that being down the southern coast of England, and the Haddon-Cott tramway, I was thinking more maybe in the Midlands somewhere, because you've got iron being mined, plus the coal comes in from a canal, so being set in an area that had quite a lot of canals, I think would lend itself to it quite nicely. How does this look from back here? It looks unloaded. Good. Good, good. Let's increase the render distance a tiny little bit more. Yeah, that should be all the houses loaded back there. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. And to be honest, do I really need that many more houses? I guess I do if you look at it from back here, because then you can see the gaps in them. But from over here, I really don't. Just need to have a few more houses in these gaps over here. Oh yes, there will be trees as well. I think I just heard an owl outside. Yes, if you didn't know, it's currently nighttime out there. Maybe a few more houses in this little bit here. Then we need a few in this little area as well. Although, do I like it like this, or did I prefer it the other way? I think it might actually look more interesting if I have a couple of gaps in the houses like that. When you're coming this way. They're probably not going to see it anyway, but... yeah. Will any of these houses get a garage? No. I'm not going to put in that detail. You're not going to see this back here. This is just intended to be viewed from afar. And or basketball hoop and or a Vista Cruiser. Well, I mean, if I did do that, I'd have to model an object in Blender. I'd have to model a hair to put on the ignition. Yeah, if I say something and then Kango just puts a whole bunch of laughing faces in chat and you have no idea what's going on, then it's pretty safe to assume that it was a reference. Yeah, probably. I see. Speaking of seeing things, I think that looks quite nice. Just quickly make sure that everything's loaded. Good. Now, do I want houses on the outside of this as well, or not? Yes, I know, speaking of seeing things, actually, yeah. I think I want houses along the outside here. Maybe, yeah, along this bit I do, but not going around this curve, because I want the player to be able to see the front of the other houses. Thank you. It'd look even nicer with shadows on and with forest around. Where's the darker house? There we go, that's the one I wanted. Those are a bit close together. Let me move those a little bit further apart. You can hear that out there, can't you? That sounds like an airplane. When in reality it's a UFO. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I told you it is. A flying object which I have not identified. A UFO. The truest meaning of the word. Well, abbreviation of words. Actually, I'll move this over a little bit more. Like that. Actually, yeah, the left house needs to move a bit further to the right. Those need to be quite close together, I think. Because I do want you to be able to see the pink house as well as you're looking up that street. Good. But people often seem to use it interchangeably with flying space saucer. If it's a space saucer and you mean UFO to refer to that, does it really matter if it's flying or not? Like if it's crashed, wouldn't people still tend to call it a UFO? Nah, yeah, you're right. Okay, so I think I am going to add a couple more houses along here just to have that nice different angle visible. Look with airplanes. They're still called airplanes, even when landed crashed. Right, so that looks quite good. I'll save. Then I'll add some little trees in between. Don't want to add too many of these, because I don't want them to block too much of the view of the houses. Note I didn't say from the houses, I said of the houses. Okay, we need a little bit over here as well. And then I'll place a couple more coniferous trees as well. By couple I mean just a small amount. A non-excessive amount. A sizable but not overly huge amount. And now place a couple more continents. Oh, are you? Where are you going to fit them? If you put one in the Atlantic, are you going to call it Mu? Or would you rather go with pop culture and call it Atlantis? Put them in the trunk. Yes. Yes to what? To Mu? There we are. I think that looks quite nice. Maybe one tree there. There we go, that's the right placement. Yes, also I'll also re-add a small island called Doggerland. What do you mean island? It's not an island. That was the name of the land that connected Great Britain to Europe. That whole area. It wasn't an island. I don't think that that's correct. Well, what would have become an island? I mean, maybe? But I thought it was the name of the whole area between, not just a hill in the area, basically. Okay, that's quite nice. Do we think that that's enough houses for here? If you imagine forest on either side. And then also imagining that there would be a few more houses, probably in this little area down here, and then maybe along here as well. I think that's probably good. People have calculated that it would have become an island had it not sunk, I believe. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's good. Of course we need more details, like for example, painting in asphalt in behind here, between these buildings and things like that. It's going to go on the left and to the right of the town. Forest? Do you mean over here on the left and on the right? Yes, forest. Yeah, forest. Admiral or otherwise. Actually, is that very similar to the previous thumbnail? Let me quickly check. I mean, it's been years since the last episode anyway, so who's going to remember that? No, it is quite different. The last one was from down here looking through. And if that's... I think that's going to be a good thumbnail. I know, yeah. Feel free to go over time, please. It's been so long since the last one. No. I think I'm quite happy with what we've done today. Because the next part would be to put down a forest going from here along the edge and up there and then around there, and then maybe painting in some rock faces as well on the sides there. Maybe putting in a little quarry or something, a disused quarry or stuff like that. And that's a whole new thing. I'd rather do that next time. So, right. thank you all very much for watching, and see you tomorrow for the continuation of that long Blind Blunder ATS stream. So far, we've all managed to get to our destinations. Yes, there was that time where one of us teleported. It was not I. And see you then. Bye-bye. Also, Monday, new Minecraft world with mods. Bye-bye. Good night. Yes, helicopter, bye-bye as well.